Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the Wookie Gunship. Now, many people would expect me to be reviewing maybe a gunship, but turns out when I was going to the craziest place alive, where I did almost get to tie a string. It was a weird scenario, just go watch that video if you're interested. But unlike that one, this one was actually pretty just out there sitting, so I figured, you know what, probably not going to get myself a gunship because those are terribly expensive. Might as well get myself a gunship for not even that terrible of a price. $65 for Wookie Gunship, although maybe not the most perfect condition thing or minifigures. I think it's still better than paying a egregious amount for a gunship. And, you know, it's still one of those things that maybe I got ripped off, maybe I didn't, who knows. You never know with these things until, like, after the fact, so might as well have a gunship. Now, this model in particular is quite interesting by the fact that instead of ball turrets, it actually does have forward-facing blasters, which is pretty fun, and the overall profile is pretty nice. I don't think it's as large as some of the other gunships, but it's tan, it's there, and I'm here to review it. Now, we have covered the two front turrets, but there's also a upper turret, which also seems pretty strange, as it really can only shoot a little bit back or just forward again. So, you know, if you really want to triple down on a specific area in front of you, you can. But then there's also these large side cannons, which are just, you know, it's really absurd for the forward fire, but I mean, it is also a gunship, so it does make sense that it's going to bring in high firepower, but bring in a mosquito on the back and you're basically, well, it's not that defenseless. You've probably just got a Wookiee sitting back here with a bowcaster just shooting wildly at everything that it sees. But realistically, it has a bit of a strange focus where there's no kind of deterrent on the back. At least with the other gunship, there was a little bit of a back turret, but there's nothing like that on this one. So, aside from that, the wings actually, aside from their nice detailing there, which is the Wookiee wood printing, they can be actually lifted a bit up. So, if you want to have a little bit of a slimmer profile gunship, you can, which is probably not the most useful thing. But if you ever wanted to do it, you can. So, you know, a little bit more touch that you can have. It does have a little bit of a flag or something of the sorts on the back here. Not too familiar with the Wookiee gunships. Like most things, you know, you just kind of forget them. And then you get them, and then you remember, like, two things. So, not really too helpful, but staying on the back here, we do get a little bit of a glimpse of the landing here. But on the back here, we can, after a bit of a shakiness, we can open up the back, which would normally have a bit of an outside turret that you can take out. Mine didn't come with it, so we're just going to briefly mention it here. Next to the lights, of course, there's now a bug flying around. But what my plan here for this, because I am going to slightly modify that region, is just have a little bit more area to store some Wookiees in, because I'm planning on having a little bit more carry space, as this little compartment, which would normally you'd think is for people, is more of a cargo bay, which is pretty fun. You can have a little bit of extra storage, you know, bring in a few extra weapons for your Wookiees while you're fighting in there, and it also has a nice bit of sticker detailing, which does connect from the back here, so it does look pretty fun. This area does, of course, lead back to the area that we just saw. It's the same on both sides, but we also do have the two other features, which is just some Wookie storage. Now, you can't really open it up too much, at least on this side, but you can fit a Wookie in there, and you can, of course, fit a Wookie in there, so you do have a little bit of Wookie storage. It's not like the most spacious thing like you would actually have with a clone gunship, but it's a gunship nonetheless, and I think one that, for those that actually think that a gunship is really expensive right now in the current market atmosphere, this is probably one of those replacements that will get you by for a decent amount of time, unless you just want to wait for another gunship. But as always, there's definitely some great sets out in the current market, so if you don't want to go with something used, you can, of course, just look at the current market, which has some great openings for both transport ships, attack ships. We also do have the ATT, which is absolutely fantastic, so if you can pick one of those up, so that's going to be a great Clone Wars set for those interested in Clone Wars. But I thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.